The year was 1979. A bitter November wind clawed at the New York State Thruway. Snow was coming, always coming. She was a girl alone, a teenager who ran toward the freedom of the road, hitchhiking in a world that wasn't built for innocence. She wore a distinctive jacket, a bold red windbreaker striped with black. Near a small town called Caledonia, the cold descended. The cornfield stood sentinel, empty and waiting. In this rural quiet, the truth often whispers, but sometimes it screams. A flash, two gunshots. The silence returns, heavier than before. Dawn broke on November 10th. A hunter walked his dog on a private farm road. He wasn't looking for deer. He found a body. She was young, blonde hair, light clothes beneath that red jacket. Police arrived. The mud was thick. The rain from the night before had washed away 1,000 possibilities, all the subtle, fleeting clues. She was shot twice, once in the head, near the road. Then, investigators believed, dragged into the field and shot again, execution style. Someone wanted her dead. Someone wanted her to disappear forever. They called her Cali Doe, the unidentified girl of Caledonia. For the next 35 years, she would have no name. She was a ghost in the system, a photograph on a flyer that faded a little more each winter. The keychains. The investigation went national. Leads came from all 50 states. Thousands of potential identities were checked. They knew she had been in Florida recently. Tiny traces of a unique pollen found clinging to her clothes confirmed that journey. She was running from something, or running to someone. But the physical clues were exhausted. The case stalled. Cali Doe was buried, a permanent resident of an unmarked grave, a mystery sealed by silence. Decades passed. Technology evolved. Forensic genealogy, a new weapon against old ghosts. In 2005, DNA was successfully extracted from her remains. It was a digital ghost print of her life, but without a match in the state or national databases, it was still just data. A long shot. 2014. The internet stepped in. A man named Carl Koppelman, a sketch artist and cold case amateur detective, was studying the Cali Doe file online. He compared the police sketch with thousands of missing persons photos. He found a potential match. A runaway from Florida. Her name was Tammy Jo Alexander, reported missing by her half-sister, Pamela, in 1979. The family had long assumed she'd run off to join a commune or simply chosen a new life. They even listed her as deceased in her mother's obituary, but the resemblance was undeniable. The call went out to Livingston County Sheriff's Office. A new investigator, fresh eyes on a very old tragedy. The key to the final discovery was not in the crime lab, but in a distant sister's memory, Pamela Dyson. She agreed to provide a DNA sample. It was a mitochondrial DNA test, a match to the profile pulled from Cali Doe's remains. January 26, 2015. The announcement was made. Cali Doe was Tammy Jo Alexander. The cold case had a name. The ghost had a history. The hunt for the killer was now a tangible reality. Tammy Jo was a runaway, hitchhiking with truck drivers. Her mother had worked at a truck stop. Investigators turned their attention back to the truck stops and diners of 1979. They focused on two key accounts. First, a diner waitress remembered seeing Tammy the night before her murder. She was eating with an older man. He paid for the meal. He was calm. He was controlling. Second, a man's DNA found on her clothing was a partial profile. Not enough for a full conviction, but enough to eliminate the innocent. The renewed investigation focused on a small list of known associates and persons of interest from the original case. The psychological profile of the killer sharpened. He was not a random psychopath. He knew her. She was likely in his care or under his control when she died. The motive? A teenager desperate to leave. A man unwilling to let her go. The net was closing, but who was the man who held the key to her fate? The partial profile was uploaded, searching for familial connections. It led investigators to the name Larry Vane DeJesus, a former truck driver. He lived in the area in 1979. He had a criminal history. He was a prime suspect from the original decades-old list. His DNA was requested. September 2017. The match was confirmed. Larry DeJesus was the man who shot Tammy Jo Alexander. DeJesus had died in 2015, 2 years before the DNA match. He would never stand trial. Tammy Jo's case was officially solved by identification, but justice in the truest sense remains partially denied. Her life, extinguished in the cold mud of a cornfield, proved one thing: even a 35-year-old secret can be unearthed.